Hello, Four Star Nation, and welcome to a Sunday show. Hope everyone's doing well this Sunday afternoon. We are sponsored by BA Masks. They are the leading, just absolutely just forging the future of face mask in football, lacrosse, hockey, multiple other sports. Alan McFerrin and company do an amazing job. Everything is made with high precision, made with high quality. For more information, check them out at bamasks.com. Also, check them out on all social media platforms at BA Masks. We got Nathan Wilson in here with us today. We got Christian Johnson. I am Wes Pruitt. Once again, hope everyone's doing well. Nathan, first question is for you, man. Well, let's talk a little bit of college baseball. Of course, we just saw one hell of a baseball series between the Arkansas Razorbacks and the Tennessee Volunteers, two top 5 teams battling.
Should have been a sweep. Should have been a sweep.
Let's anyway. We'll get there, Christian. We'll get there. Nathan, when you look,
we're already
at
there.
The world. When you look at college baseball as a whole, obviously Omaha is right around the corner. Heard a stat yesterday that the SEC was going to host possibly 6 or 7 of the 20 regionals.
Right.
Is there a baseball program out there non-SEC that can compete with the SEC?
Man, non-SEC. Dang, dude, you put me on the spot.
Sure there is. Yeah.
I'm sure there is. I mean, we can't forget, the Big 12, they have some competitors over there. You can't put them out just yet. SEC is always a big thing. It's baseball for SEC. I mean, they love it. But if I'm gonna put my hat in this and put my cards all on the table and pick one, oh man, man, you put me on the spot. I mean, maybe Baylor, maybe Texas Tech. I mean, I don't know, dude. I mean, but I'll throw this out there. Louisville. I'll put Louisville out there. Louisville actually played Vanderbilt and beat Vandy. So, so I'll put my head out there for Louisville right now. I like the way they're playing baseball. I know I think they're losing right now, but still, when you get to Omaha, it's a whole different ball game, buddy. It don't matter what your ranking is. I mean, as we all talk about baseball, it's not about what your rank is, dude. That little number by your team don't mean nothing in baseball because anything could happen.
Nothing.
So I'm gonna put my hat out for Louisville. I mean, I think Louisville will be a good team to watch this year, and if they get in there, and I'm sure they will, they're top 25 for sure. So Louisville has a chance. I mean, they beat Vandy. Vanderbilt has, as we all know, they have 2 good pitchers on their team. Vanderbilt's a strong team. So I'll put my hat out for Louisville right now.
Christian, give me a team that's outside of the SEC that you think has a chance to make a run in Omaha.
I'm a little embarrassed to admit that this year, for some reason, I've only kept up with the SEC for the most part. But I did watch the Texas TCU series, and those are 2 really good ball teams. I mean, that was a very highly competitive series, and yes, Arkansas beat both of those teams, but it was earlier in the year. It was 1 game. I think Texas and TCU could easily make a run in the College World Series and compete with the best teams in the SEC. Oklahoma, I know, is a pretty stout team. They came to Fayetteville and won 1 game, but it was an impressive win. So yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's good teams all across the country, but for me, the team that stands out right now is Texas. I just think outside the SEC, they have a good shot. I see you shaking your head, Brandon. I know Texas usually.
I'm watching the Grizzlies game. It's not what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
the Grizzlies are playing Golden State right now, buddy.
But I will say this, Texas. I mean, they're a very storied program. So is TCU. But right now, man, it's hard. Even if I wasn't an SEC fan or I would just. It's hard for me to see envision a team outside of the SEC that can win it all. But it's going to take a lot for a team outside the SEC. Arkansas just beat Tennessee in the series, but Tennessee's a really good team as well. I could see Tennessee. I could see them winning. I mean, going to Omaha and possibly winning the whole thing. You just don't know.
Man, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Watching them in this series against Arkansas, they're an impressive baseball team. They are good on all. I mean, when they're hitting on all cylinders, they're really, really, really good. Brandon, welcome to the show, buddy. Hope you had a good weekend. Give me a team outside of the SEC, outside of the obviously the Mississippi State, everyone else, that you think can make a run at Omaha.
I don't think there is one. Oklahoma
Exactly.
State's the only team that really comes to mind. Oklahoma State's been really good this year. I've watched a couple of their games, and they're hit or miss. Some days I believe they're still ranked top 25. They've had some really good series, but the SEC is just so dominant right now. I don't see anybody beating any SEC team in the. I think you're going to have 3 or 4 SEC teams in the College World Series, and it's basically going to be the SEC Tournament 2.0.
Yep.
I just don't see anybody coming out and doing anything special. East Carolina can make a run. East Carolina's like ranked number 11 in the country right now. They're very good.
Yeah.
But it's an SEC for the taking right now, and if an SEC team doesn't win it, then that's a major disappointment to that conference.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's flip over to softball. We saw a great SEC tournament when it comes to softball. Give me a team. Obviously, the SEC is really, really, really good at softball. Alabama is one of the top teams in the country. Arkansas is there as well, and numerous others. When you look at the SEC side of things, going to Oklahoma City, do you see it kind of being the same way as with baseball? You're going to have just this overload of SEC teams, and then you may have someone, an outsider per se, step in. We'll start with you, Christian.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the same song and dance in baseball. I mean, softball's a little more wide open. It's not all SEC, but there's a lot of good teams in the SEC. And then you got Oklahoma outside the SEC. We saw Alabama win the SEC tournament this weekend, and that wasn't a surprise to me, honestly. They're a good softball program. This is considered a down year for them, and they still won the SEC tournament. Even though they didn't win the SEC regular season, they won the SEC tournament. And even the Florida softball team's good as well. You got Tennessee's good. Arkansas, they disappointed in the SEC tournament, but they're still a team that can get to Oklahoma City. So,
oh yeah, I think Arkansas is a very dangerous softball team.
Yeah, I do too. But what were you saying, Nathan?
I was just saying. Now, of course, me being a Bama fan, I watched the game yesterday, and they did state there are 14 SEC softball teams. The 14 SEC teams in softball are going to be in the tournament. Yeah. And it's like I think they said it's the first time in a long time that it's happened. But yeah, I mean, Alabama, we've had a good softball team for 20. Heck, I can't even tell you how many years we've had a good one. 2012 was when we won the SEC championship and the national title in softball. Now this year, Arkansas made a big run at what I was shocked that Tennessee beat Arkansas. That was a shocker to me. But you can't put these teams out, because SEC, they're very dominant in a lot of sports. I mean, it's a powerhouse conference. Everybody knows that. But with the game yesterday, no, it wasn't really a surprise. But you also got to understand a lot of records were broken too. Montana Fouts broke some records.
She's a bitch.
She had 9 strikeouts in that game. The only time, and this is the thing, the only time Florida got on base was in the first inning. The rest of the time, they didn't even get on base anymore. So, but I mean, it's the same. It goes for the same thing as baseball, dude. It's gonna be a wild ride. You never know what's gonna happen. So, I look forward to it. I mean, it's all about getting to Omaha. It's all about who wins that title at the end.
It is. Brandon, when you look at softball, is there a team outside of the SEC that can come in and compete with the Alabamas and others of the world?
I mean, the SEC isn't even top 3. Oklahoma and UCLA are the teams to beat. And I really like that UCLA team.
Right.
I watched them play on ESPNU the other night, and that team is very, very good. And Oklahoma's ranked number 1 in the country. I think they've only lost 2 games.
That's my favorite. Yeah.
They're by far the
favorite. I mean, Oklahoma's obviously the best team.
I agree with the SEC statement. Yeah, it's a powerhouse conference, but I just don't see anybody beating Oklahoma or UCLA.
You got to.
It's crazy.
No, go ahead, bro.
It's crazy how good they've been this year.
Yeah. And you also understand UCLA is the defending champions from last year.
Yep.
So, I mean.
I think what we were saying was like top to bottom SEC is a better conference, but I think OU and UCLA, like you said, are OU and UCLA are the clear-cut favorites.
Yeah, I mean,
it's still going to take a great it's going to take a great effort from Alabama or Arkansas to win it all.
Oh, most definitely. And then you got Oklahoma playing at home, literally. Yeah. I mean, that's a home field for Oklahoma. I mean, it's definitely in their favor, and then they're really, really good, so that always helps. Speaking of playoffs, have y'all been keeping up with this FCS playoffs at all? Anybody been watching a little? No, Brandon, you have not.
I know Sam Houston State's playing for the championship. That's all I know.
That's who I got picked right now. Sam. Houston beat South Dakota State. So
Sam Houston State came back last week, was down big, came back to win against James Madison, and they're playing the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, which I think is just one of the best mascots maybe ever. I love the Jackrabbit mascot, but right now the game is in a rain delay. Or last I saw, it was 7-7 in a rain delay. It's over on ABC for the folks that want to watch that game. I'm glad to see that the playoffs have been so successful for these teams. Speaking of the FCS, let me ask y'all this question: if you are the FCS, do you continue to play during the spring? That way, you get your own TV time, or do you still play against the bigger schools? Go ahead, Brandon.
Well, the fact that they're playing this fall. Anyways, it shows you that I think they'd rather play in the fall. Football's not made for the spring. You can do some pro leagues in the spring, like the XFL or the CFL, but you have basketball, baseball, hockey. You have all these major sports going on in the spring, and it's just not going to. You don't want to go up against those sports, especially as not even the A-list football.
I feel
country.
I feel like they're selling themselves short when they do that.
Well, and like right now, the Grizzlies are playing the Warriors on ESPN, and yes, the FCS championship is on ABC. But I guarantee you, more people are watching this Grizzlies and Warriors into the postseason or into the regular season game than anybody's watching that FCS championship. And that's not taking anything away from those guys, because those guys work their butts off and everything like that. But when there's a difference between FCS football and FBS football, and they're not comparable. I mean, it's like when Memphis would play Southern or Southern Illinois, UT Martin, somebody like that, nobody cares.
There's just no way to. There's no way to.
Or if somebody's playing like Alabama's playing the Citadel, like nobody cares, you know.
Yeah, right.
Get out, Memphis.
There's no way to put them on the same playing field, in my opinion. I don't see what they could do. I don't see what the FCS could do differently to make it any more watchable than the FBS.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Well,
I agree exactly. I agree exactly what Brandon and Christian said about it.
Yeah. I mean, the only way that they could make themselves more seen is to play in the spring, which is what they did this year. But when you look at it financially, number one, look at how much money these schools get to go play Florida State and get drummed by 50, or go play Alabama at Alabama, and by the end of the second quarter, you got Mac Jones' little brother's cousin in there at quarterback that's still slinging touchdowns from 50 yards away. I
think they're better off doing that. I still think they're better off playing the bigger schools, so people will respect them. I don't think they're ever going to get respect unless they keep doing it. Honestly.
Well, I mean, and if they quit doing it, then, you know, you won't see. Yeah, I mean, but then you won't see the Appalachian states back in the day knocking off Michigan. You know what I'm saying? You won't see those shocker games that just, you know, I mean, let's be honest. Kansas is terrible, but should a Coastal Carolina walk in and beat Kansas? I mean, you know, should teams from the lower divisions, should they walk in and win games? I mean, that's football. That's college football.
Coastal Carolina,
you can lose on any given day. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, I know what you're saying, but I'm just using them as an example.
Oh, okay. I got you.
But I mean, okay. Well,
I remember before Coastal Carolina, before they were even good, you know, and Arkansas was at the lowest of low. Coastal Carolina nearly came into Fayetteville and beat us, so you know it happened.
Yeah, it definitely happens. And, I mean, that's part of the excitement and the love that I have for college football, is getting the chance to watch those teams go up against the other schools. Jacksonville State, for example, a few years back, gave Ole Miss just pure hell. They should have beat them, actually.
Didn't they beat Auburn?
But,
yeah, they beat Auburn, too.
Yeah, I believe they did, yes. But, you know, I mean, when you look at that, it's just fun. It's really, really fun. Nate, I'm sorry, Brandon, I see your shirt there. You're rocking a Cardinals shirt. I like that. It's a good looking shirt.
Yeah, buddy.
Speaking of the Cardinals, let's talk a little bit of MLB baseball. Right now, just to give you the fan score updates, you got the Brewers are up 8-2 on the Braves. White Sox are down 3-2 to the Royals, top of 8. Let's see. Any other scores of importance? Not really. The Cubs won 500. You know, when you look at MLB baseball, of course, you've got the postseason coming up. How far do you think the Cardinals are going to make a run, Brandon? I'll go ahead and start with you.
Well, if they play like they have the last two games, they might be lucky to make the playoffs right now. Our pitching's been atrocious the last two games. I mean, they put Matt Carpenter into pitch last night. That's how bad it got. But I still think the Cardinals will win the Central. I don't know where I sit as far as like how far of a run they can make. It's still May. You got until October, so you check with me in August. I'll be able to kind of gauge where I think we could be. But right now, I just think it's so early. I still think the Cardinals will win the division right now, as I said, but it's a hit or miss. Anything can happen right now. In 2011, the Cardinals were 11 and a half games back of the Braves for the wild card, and they ended up going
like a month left.
So it's baseball is one of those weird sports where you can just get hot at the right time. Look at that. A's at the beginning of the year. They started 0-6, 0-7, and then they've won like 13 in a row,
Yeah.
and they're one of the best teams in baseball right now. You got the Cardinals and the Padres tonight on ESPN. Should be an interesting matchup. I hope the Cardinals show up to play. If they keep hitting all these solo home runs, it's going to make me angry because that you could score one run, that's fine in close games, but in 13-6 games, you got to get more guys on base. We strike out way too much. I think we strike out more than anybody in baseball. It's ridiculous. There's no plate discipline on the Cardinals.
Cubs strike out a lot too.
Yeah, but the Cubs are in last place.
The White Sox do too. Yeah, the White
Yeah,
Sox.
like you said, I was gonna piggyback. It's a long season. No, I'm not pissed. I'm with you. The Cubs are. I don't know what to think about them. Honestly, they're just. The only hope I have is it's early in the year, but there's times where they look good, and then there's times where they look terrible. So hopefully they get it together and make a run. But I don't expect them to finish last in the division.
Losing Theo Epstein and Joe Madden really hurt the Cubs. Like, just that hurt the Cubs.
I agree.
The Cubs aren't going to recover from that. Just purely that you lose your GM, you lose your coach. Not even 4 years removed from winning the World Series. I don't know what was going on in Chicago. I think the ownership might have just been like, hey, it's time to move on. But I don't know what to think of that. It's weird. But I agree with you. I don't expect the Cubs to finish last. I think that's the perfect place for the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are probably one of the stinkiest teams in baseball. And the Reds, they had their little moment at the beginning of the year, and then they fell off already. So, yeah, I think it's going to go down to the Cardinals and Brewers for the NL Central. But to think about it, though, right now, I think the team to beat in baseball is still going to be the Dodgers. They're just going to get hot. Everybody knows it. And you're not going to be able to stop it.
Yep. So that just shows you how crazy baseball
Nathan,
is.
what about you, man?
I mean, the Cubs swept the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are way better than the Cubs. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So I mean, I totally agree with what Brandon's saying. The Cardinals, we was on a little bit of a hot streak, and Padres kind of knocked us back last night. I think we only got one run in last night. Now we play again today. Hopefully we come out a lot better. But the Cardinals. I mean, the thing about it is you get on that hot streak, and then somebody knocks you down a peg. So whenever they knock you down, to decide it is whether or not you're gonna get a losing streak going, or you're gonna pick up and get that win streak back. But right now the Cardinals look good. They didn't look so good last night. So hopefully they build off that loss and come out stronger tonight when they play the Padres. But I also want to mention this. Albert Pujols. I thought Pujols was fixing to come back home to the Cardinals for a minute. I thought it was going to happen, but no, it turns out I think the Dodgers.
How can the Dodgers afford him? I don't
know, but
they got him for the league minimum.
Yeah, Dodgers picked him up. See, I wanted him.
They got him for the league minimum. Okay.
Yeah, see, I wanted him to come back to the Cardinals because he even said what he'll do is he wants to come back and get retire from the Cardinals, and that would have been great for me. I loved that. I used to be a Pujols fan. I loved him. And everything. And then, when he left and everything, of course, everybody was pissed they left. But at the same time, I still got my boy Yachty at catcher. So as long as we get Yachty here at Molina, we're good. We're good right now. So
the problem
let's be real. Let's be real. He's nothing what he was on the Cardinals. I mean, nothing.
No, he's not. But he's a veteran bat you can put on the bench to teach the young guys. The problem with the Cardinals is they're too stubborn. They want to keep Matt Carpenter on the bench, who is just an absolute bum. Can't hit, can't do anything. And they were like, okay, we'd rather have Matt Carpenter than Albert Pujols. Now, I understand. Albert Pujols is however old he is. We really don't know. He might be 50. But it's crazy to think that the Cardinals are like, oh, Matt Carpenter offers more than Albert Pujols does. Albert Pujols is a first ballot Hall of Famer, and in my childhood was easily the greatest player in baseball for years.
Yep.
You don't, and like these kids and I call them kids, they're my age though. But these guys that are playing for the Cardinals grew up watching him play. He was their favorite player,
Yep.
And you put him on the bench with these guys, they're going to listen to him. He's got veteran experience. He's won 2 World Series. He's played in 3 World Series. I mean, I don't get it. I
think they should just hire him as a coach.
Be like, oh, Matt Carpenter offers more. I know Matt's a veteran and he's been in St. Louis for a while, but he's not good. He bats like 102 or something like that.
Yeah,
but Albert Pujols was one of the greatest first basemen. I mean, I loved it. Heck, now I'm not taking anything away from the Cardinals right now. I mean, we look good and everything, but dude, you got to think about this. When Yadier Molina's contract came up, every Cardinal fan out there was worried, like, "Oh my God, we're gonna lose him. We're gonna lose him."
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, that would have been a big hit for us if we lost him. You can't steal bases on Yachty that well. He's he's my favorite catcher.
No, you cannot. All right. Speaking of college baseball and MLB, I just want to do a quick correlation real quick. The Arkansas catcher, Casey Opitz, reminds me a lot of Yadier Molina, just at a younger age. But speaking of playoffs, speaking of everything else going on, the National Hockey League playoffs starts tomorrow night. For those of you that didn't know, the St. Louis Blues are taking on the Colorado Avalanche. It's going to be a great matchup over in the Western Conference first rounds. That game, the puck will drop at 9 p.m. on NBC Sports Network. Of course, Brandon Bumgarner and myself are St. Louis Blues fans. Nathan Wilson is a Nashville Turdators fan. Christian, are you a hockey fan? Do you follow hockey?
Let me speak up. I've never been an avid hockey fan. Never been an avid hockey fan. For some reason, I can't make my mind up between the Blackhawks and the Stars. I think I'm leaning more to the Stars.
Yours is worse.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I know the Stars made it to the NHL finals last year, I believe.
Are you bandwagon jumping, or do you really like?
No.
I mean, I do know.
I could
I
care
do know
less,
that you are a Dallas Mavericks fan. So I mean, you're
and a Cowboys
Mavericks fan.
So why not be a Stars fan?
Yeah, and a Cowgirls fan. So yeah, you might as well just stay in the city of Dallas. It'd be easier that way. Brandon, speaking of the St. Louis Blues, man, give me your prediction for this first round matchup with the Colorado Avalanche.
The Blues are hot right now. They're hot. That's all I can say. Now, if they lose this playoff series, yes, I'll be upset, but I won't. I mean, I'd understand why. The Avalanche are the number 1 overall seed in all of the playoffs.
Yeah.
So it'll be tough to beat them. But like I said, the Blues got hot at the right time. And the problem with getting hot in hockey is if you get hot, you stay hot, especially through the playoffs. That's why the Blues won the Cup in 2019. Yep. Got hot at the right time, right in December or January. I mean, January 1st, they were the worst team in the NHL. Ended up winning the Stanley Cup. It's never happened before. Anything can happen in hockey, but if you have momentum, that is your number 1 thing that's on your side, and the Blues have momentum. And I'm not going to sit here and say they're going to go win the Cup, but I'm letting you know right now, if they do make a run, it will not surprise me at all.
For some reason, as long as the Flyers or Penguins don't win it, I'm good.
All right.
They've got them knocked.
Blues.
As long as the Predators don't win, I'm happy.
When you look at the St. Louis Blues,
dude, that hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
Hurt,
I completely agree. Yeah, I completely agree with him. But I mean, obviously,
what the hell, dude?
When you look at the Blues, David Perron, I mean, is obviously him and Kyle and Ryan O'Reilly are just studs. My boy Jordan Bennington behind in the pipes. I think Jordan Bending is one of the best goalies in the National Hockey League. He's young. He proved it in 2019, winning that Stanley Cup. Absolutely just made some amazing saves. He's continuing to do that this year. Brandon, give me your opinion on my boy Benny.
Well, speaking of Perron at first, Perron just tested positive for COVID, so he is going to be out for this playoff series unless he I believe they said he's got to test negative 3 days in a row, which would be today, tomorrow, which means he would miss game 1 and Tuesday. So potentially could return for game 2 on Wednesday. But
oh man,
Bennington's one of those guys that doesn't give a crap what you think about him, and he's going to go out there and play the best that he can. And when he's at the top of his game, he's the best goaltender in the National Hockey League. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. He won a Stanley Cup as a rookie.
I think these players need to get the vaccine so we can get done with this. Done with missing games. You know,
I don't know.
I'll leave that to the side. I don't want to get into all the vaccine talk with pro sports and everything like that. But no, I do believe that Bennington is one of the best goalies in hockey, if not the best, when he's on the top of his game.
Yeah. Nathan, we'll slide over to Nashville since I know you want to talk about the Preds, man. So let's talk a little bit about the Nashville Predators. Go ahead.
Look, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet with y'all guys. I'm gonna say this: we got the Hurricane first game of the Stanley. I think we take game 1. As long as everything goes smoothly with us. I think the Predators have a good chance at it. You know, like the Blues. I mean, the Blues playing the number 1 team, the Avalanche. So, and you know, I've seen the Blues play. I mean, I've watched them. They're a great hockey team. They don't ever underestimate them. I've learned that because once you underestimate them, that's when they're at their best, and that's when they're going to beat you. And I honestly think I don't believe the Avalanche is overlooking them, but I have some kind of feeling that the Avalanche is looking at the Blues, and I want to say that real quick. Just like I think Hurricanes are looking over, they're just looking at the Predators like, all right, we got this too. So, you know, I believe Predators take first game. I think we're going to come out playing strong. From what I've known so far, we're still good. Everybody's still, nobody's out for COVID or anything. So we should come out strong for it. But quick thing, off subject and off the NHL, the Sam Houston State game is back on, and Sam Houston State is up 14-7 now.
Nice. Come on, Sam Houston State. Christian, when you look at other sports around the country right now, you had the Preakness, a little horse racing going on yesterday. Of course, Bob Baffert is just all in the sports world for his comments on Fox News and his horse that had performance-enhancing drugs in him. Anyway, I mean, the man blamed it on somebody cleaning the stall, peeing in the hay, is what he blamed it on. But anyway, Christian, when you look at sports around the world, man, or around the country right now, what do you think is the most intriguing storyline? And I'll go around the room. But what is the most intriguing storyline in sports right now to you?
Man, that's tough. The most intriguing storyline, for some reason, I'm going with the NFL and Tebow. I got to go with the NFL and Tebow. Tebow coming back for the Jaguars. Huh? I mean, can you imagine if he actually ends up playing well there? Kind of like media coverage that's going to generate. I mean, that's crazy. Crazy to think about. I think he deserves, to have a little success in the NFL. It didn't work out as a quarterback, but he can definitely be utilized somewhere. At Jacksonville, I mean, I never envisioned him necessarily being a tight end. I could have maybe seen a fullback or something, but a tight end, I never envisioned him being a tight end. But I'm interested to see how that works out. But I think right now that's got to be the big story.
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big story right now, and I agree. Never really saw him as a tight end. I mean, now that I sit back and think about it, he's pretty physical. I mean, I think he can play the position. Brandon, what about you, man?
Okay,
What's your take on the what's your take on this Tim Tebow story? By the way,
my take on Tebow.
Yeah,
I think he's going to be the next Taysom Hill. I think Jacksonville's going to have a package for him, and I think he's going to go in there and be able to throw the ball when they need him to throw the ball. And he's also going to be successful. I'm tired of seeing everybody saying he's taking a roster spot from people. Well, he didn't ask for this to happen. Urban Meyer gave him a spot on the roster or a contract. He hasn't made the 53-man roster. And the odds of him doing that aren't very likely. But if he does, and I don't count Tim Tebow out of anything, I think he absolutely can. I think he could be successful. I think he's going to be a Taysom Hill type player for the Jaguars, and he's way more physical than Taysom. He's probably more athletic than Taysom, which is a very big advantage for the Jaguars. Now, I'm not saying the Jaguars are going to sit here and go win however many games. I still think they're going to be in the top 5 of the draft next year, but it'll be fun to have Tim Tebow out there on the field again. I love the guy. I think he offers a lot to a locker room. I saw somebody saying that an usher at a game offers more to the team than Tim Tebow would, and that really just made me angry because like they clearly don't know the guy and they don't give him a chance.
Well, here's the thing: he's gonna have to prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, hey, he's good at that. He's done it before, and he'll do it again. But I really think
he did that in Denver when he won a playoff game.
He won a playoff game. He won a playoff game
against the number 1 defense in the NFL. Like it's nothing new.
Yeah,
now.
he beat Pittsburgh. It was beautiful. Right.
He threw for 316 yards that game. Like,
I bet you were happy during that game.
I was very happy. But no, okay. The biggest storyline the biggest storyline in all of sports right now is the NBA playoffs.
Right.
Right now, you're watching the Grizzlies and the Warriors. The winner of that plays either the Lakers or Trailblazers in their play-in game. I really think that the NBA playoffs, it dictates everything, especially in the spring area of sports. Yeah. But yeah, this Grizzlies and Warriors game's pretty close right now. The Grizzlies cannot buy a foul at all because you know they want to see that Warriors and Lakers play-in game matchup. Steph Curry's played like garbage today, but he just hit a 3 right after I said that. It's just, I don't know. The Grizzlies cannot buy a foul right now. And maybe I'm biased because I'm a Grizzlies fan, but come on now. Like, you can't dictate games this late in the season by not calling fouls and calling fouls, you know. It really makes me angry, but it's the third quarter with 7 minutes left right now, and the Warriors are up 66-58. It's been a pretty decent game so far. Ooh, nice play right there by Jaren Jackson Jr. It's a hit or miss. The Grizzlies are also playing extremely young right now. They're turning the ball over. They're making too many dumb plays. I feel like they need to slow it down a little bit because when you play at the pace of Steph Curry, he's going to go off.
Yeah. I just want to add this. My big intake and big news of all sports. One of my favorite players in NBA, Kobe Bryant, inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame. His wife gave an amazing speech. You know, Michael Jordan right next to her and everything. You know, Kobe was one of my favorites growing up. So was Michael. You know, Scottie Pippen. You know, all of them, you know, but Kobe was one of my favorites. So him getting inducted into the Hall of Fame the other day, and his wife giving the speech and everything, and his daughter got to put the jacket on and take the picture with all the Hall of Famers. So that was a big thing for NBA yesterday.
Yeah, I was actually just getting ready to mention that, Nathan. You actually took my sports intriguing story. It's okay, though. Yeah, I think that Kobe Bryant getting inducted is just it's everything in the world that is right. It's well deserving. It's more than well deserving. The impact that he had, not only on the basketball court, but off the basketball court to the entire world, the impact that he had on the entire world, to me, is something that I don't know will be touched in the basketball world realm. Jordan did a lot. Penny has done a lot. Others have done a lot. But Kobe, that Mamba mentality that everybody talks about. I know Brandon, he was also, one of your favorites as well. But when you look at Kobe Bryant and that Mamba mentality, I mean, that's something that you can use literally in anything in your life, and it will apply perfectly. When you look around sports, like you said, the Tebow story, to me, that's very intriguing. I completely agree with Brandon. He didn't take anybody's spot. Urban Meyer gave him the opportunity, and he's going to do whatever he can to make the best of that opportunity. I agree. If he does make this team, look out. I mean, could you imagine ESPN if Trevor Lawrence throws Tim Tebow a touchdown pass? I mean, it would
it'll be.
blow up.
I
It
saw
would
something
literally,
about that. It's
ESPN
like
would
going to
shut down.
be for a week. It's going to be at least a week. It's going to be nothing but that.
Wait a minute. Wait.
Oh,
I just want to say this.
It would be.
But what if Trevor Lawrence throws Tebow the famous Florida Gator Tebow pass, which is when Tebow jumps up? I mean, come
The
on.
jump
I mean,
pass.
the little jump pass. That'd be awesome.
The old jump pass. Yeah. That very well could happen. Very well could happen. I mean, right now NBA
I will say
playoffs,
this.
like you said, Brandon. Go ahead.
I'm going to miss seeing Tebow on SEC Network a little bit.
He'll be back.
Yeah.
I mean,
He'll be back.
but
He gets paid too
it's
much.
going to be interesting to see him go from SEC Network to the NFL.
It will. It was also very interesting to see him going from the NFL to the SEC Network too. In my opinion, like it was kind of odd to watch that transition, especially as young as Tebow is. Brandon, when you look at the NBA playoffs, do you like this play-in tournament deal?
I hate
like
it.
the
I
whole
hate it.
setup that they've got up.
I hate it.
Do you?
I can't stand it.
Why?
Because
Tell all of our listeners why.
I don't think the two worst teams outside of the playoffs deserve a chance at the playoffs. It's like the Warriors right now don't deserve a chance at the playoffs. The Grizzlies played their butts off this year to get in the position that they're in, and now they're playing the Warriors. And yeah, the Warriors are about to win fair and square, but it just doesn't make any sense to me. I can't stand it. Like last year, they only did it for the Western Conference, and it screwed the Grizzlies out of a playoff appearance.
In big name players.
Do what?
Big name players like Luka and LeBron have said they hate it too.
Yeah, I agree with them. Like I don't think it makes sense. Now, it does give the Grizzlies a chance to make the playoffs, especially because we're down 71-58 now. It's not looking very good for the Grizzlies, so they're going to have to go beat the Spurs and then beat whoever loses in the play-in game, the 7 and 8 game, which is probably going to be the Warriors again. I just don't like it. I don't think it's fair for the teams that work so hard to get into the playoffs and then possibly get screwed out of a playoff position. Now, what I do like is even if you make the play-in and you don't make the playoffs, you are able to get your lottery protection. So you're in the NBA lottery at that point, the draft lottery, which it's making it likely. Yeah. If the Grizzlies are in the draft lottery, it helps them build their future a little bit. We got a good draft pick this year.
Right.
But I don't like the play-in thing. They're trying to make basketball too, not fan-friendly, but they're doing too much with it. Just like Rob Manfred has done with Major League Baseball. He's done too much with it. It's ruining the game. Like putting a runner on second base in the extra innings.
I hate that.
Like 7-inning double headers. They don't make any sense to me. So, I can't stand the play-in format. I think the top 8 seeds out of each conference, top 8 teams should make it.
I saw.
I also believe the Grizzlies should be in the Eastern Conference because we're the only team on this side of the Mississippi that isn't. But
I saw something about the play-in thing that they said it's supposed to prevent teams from tanking.
It's supposed to prevent teams from tanking, but you can't really prevent that from happening. Yeah. Look at the Pelicans. The Pelicans had all the momentum this year. They're supposed to be good, and they still could have made the playoffs, and they decide, oh, yeah, we're just going to sit Zion Williamson now. That's a tank.
Yeah.
They just tank flat out.
Well, I mean, who's the team right now that's just absolutely just literally just sucking it up every game to get Cade Cunningham or the other guy that might be the number one pick?
They're
just
probably
everything. They're just sucking it up.
Well, the Thunder just stink.
I can't think of who
general.
it is right now off the top of my head.
It's the Thunder.
No, but there's a team that's actually like got some talent on the team, and they're just sucking it up. I mean, the whole tanking mindset to me is absolutely just piss poor management. It's piss poor play, and that's basketball, football, baseball. It doesn't matter what sport.
Well, and I'll tell you right now, firsthand,
and you're also professional.
Sorry.
I mean, if you're a professional and you are getting paid to play a sport and you're tanking, I feel like that's your ass and that's your job. That's reliable right there.
I don't think any of the players want to do that. I think all the players want to win. I think it's the management, that tell them that. If anything, I don't think the players are thinking. I don't think the players are like.
The players and coaches don't want to lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I think. That's why just tanking in general is terrible.
You know
that mindset. Just can't get on board with that.
Steph Curry's a magician.
It just doesn't make any sense.
I don't get how can a guy be this good at basketball?
You see it in NFL. Oh well, yeah, Curry. Go back to Curry. Can you imagine if he had Klay Thompson with him right now?
John just got shoved in the back and they refused to blow the whistle. It just makes me angry. Like, if he had a superstar in Steph Curry, and Steph will get whatever call he wants, but Ja Morant, who is the future of the NBA, and Steph Curry's on the tail end of his career, is not getting anything. It just makes me so angry.
But
and it's obvious. And they don't.
Yeah, it's obvious. They won't call it for Ja, but they'll call it to breathe down Steph's
and
neck.
They won't do anything about it. Yeah.
Talk about complaining.
And yet, you can have another
Luka Doncic.
Like,
you want to get on to
LJ.
Luka Doncic.
LeBron James will get a ball and take 7 steps without dribbling and then dunk the ball, and they're like, what athleticism? No, that's called traveling. He just took 17 steps with a basketball.
Luka can't buy a foul, but
I love basketball. No, he can't. He's the same way. I don't just the biasness of the referee, of the calls, of the players. It's ruining it's ruining the game because it's taking
ruining the fun of the game.
Like myself. Exactly, but it's taking fans like myself and others, all of y'all. It's taking us away from the game because we don't want to watch anymore. But yet all they want is viewership. Oh, we got to have viewership. We got to have viewership. Let's make the playoff special. When I turn it on and LeBron James is taking 17 steps with basketball, dunking it, and then walking down the court while everybody else runs past him, and then, what do you know? LeBron James is on a fast break the other way. No, he's not on a fast break. He didn't play any freaking defense. That's why he's got the ball so fast. I don't know. I could go on a whole time on players like that, but it's the NBA game is. I'll just say it's hard to watch.
I probably wouldn't be watching the NBA if it wasn't for Luka Doncic because he restored my faith in the Mavericks organization. Once Dirk left, I was like, I don't have a reason to watch the NBA. And then he came along and then gave me a reason to watch again.
What's hard to watch for me is a guy like Steph Curry. Don't get me wrong, he's fun to watch. But watching a guy like Steph Curry chunk up 43s a game and hitting 40% of them, and everybody's like, he's unbelievable. Don't get me wrong, he's awesome. But I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch a 3-point shootout. I want to watch a physical basketball game where guys grind it out. I want to watch Zach Randolph, Mark Gasol era Grizzlies down in the paint bullying you. I don't want to watch. I don't want to watch a dude take a 3 from 40 feet behind the arc. Like, don't get me wrong, that's cool, but I don't want to watch a game of horse.
Ever since Steph Curry came along, the game of basketball changed. Bottom line.
Yep, I agree.
I mean,
credit to him. Credit to him. He changed the game forever. He changed the game.
Yes, he did.
This is the NBA. Full credit to him. The guys, the way he plays works, and I respect that. I just don't like the way he plays the game. Doesn't mean I don't respect his game. I know he's good.
Right. Oh, he's uberly talented, and you're exactly right. He changed the game of the NBA. I think in a way he also changed the college game because the college game kind of mimics the NBA.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah, the college game is a lot similar to the NBA.
And then Curry hit a 3 on the other end, and he's and that's what I hate about Curry. He's just a show off.
Yeah,
and he's that good. He can do it.
He is. Oh,
but they won't get past the first round.
No, the Warriors aren't going anywhere without Klay Thompson on that floor.
No,
they're not.
Completely agree. 4-Star Sports Show presented to you by BA Masks, Alan McFerrin and Company, BAMask.com, forging the future of face masks, baseball, hockey, lacrosse, and others. Reach out to them, BAMask.com, BA Mask on social media, everywhere. Thank you once again for everyone watching, listening. Apple Podcast, Spotify, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. Brandon Bumgarner, Christian Johnston, Nathan Wilson was in here with us earlier. Thank y'all very much for watching. Just one final note before we go off air. Brandon, there's a little bit of wrestling happening tonight. I know, Christian, you're not a big wrestling fan. Are you going to watch the pay-per-view tonight?
I will be watching the St. Louis Cardinals and San Diego Padres game.
There you go.
There's my answer. All right. Christian, I know you will not be. I know you won't be. Don't worry. I don't know. I may watch it. I might
be playing some Xbox instead of that.
Yeah. I mean, I got I got Madden 21 on PS4. I may jump on there in a little bit too. All right. Just want to say thank you everyone for joining us. It's been another fun show. We will be, I know for sure, Thursday night when we have Ron Higgins from Tiger Rag Magazine on to cover, talk all LSU Tiger sports. So thank you to Ron Higgins for coming on with us this upcoming Thursday night, beginning at 6:30 p.m. right here live with you once again. 4-Star Show presented by BA Masks. We are out. Thank you, guys.